So the big question today is, what is the better luxury right-hand drive SUV? Is it the GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate, which you know I love, or is it the Lincoln Navigator? Now this is the Reserve L. You can step up to the black label, but the big question is, what is the better car, the Lincoln or the GMC? So let's run some numbers straight out. On a sheer volume perspective, there are about 80,000 Yukons sold in North America every year, with around 20,000 Lincolns. That's not an indicator of popularity. The Lincoln is definitely seen as a premium vehicle. They are more expensive. Before we jump inside, these are quite clearly right-hand drive vehicles. They are both absolutely stunning, converted by my team here at Auto Group. Let's check this one out. So this is a 2024 GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate. They are spectacular. Now, the GMC Yukon to the GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate, that in itself is about a $20,000 price jump. Now, for detailed reviews of these cars, we've got them on our YouTube channel, so you go and look up the detailed review of the Ultimate, the normal Yukon Denali, the Lincoln Navigators, all the other vehicles. But the Yukon Denali Ultimate, this is absolutely spectacular. So you can see it's in right-hand drive and beautiful. And really, when you look at from a technology perspective between the Yukon Denali Ultimate and indeed the Lincoln Navigator, the tech is very similar. From an external perspective, they're very, very similar. You know, 22-inch wheels, power deployable side steps, all of the features and benefits you could, possibly imagine. I guess for me, there's a few things that you call out that you probably make the choice on beyond cost. I mean, the Lincolns are definitely more expensive, and then you've got to add your duty on. But the first thing, let's have a look at the front end of it. A lot of it from the exterior styling is what you prefer. I mean, the GMC, the Ultimate, it's got the Vader grille, so the darkened front grille, the darkened Vader surrounds, etc. But it's all about the look versus the Lincoln. You've got the monochromatic grille, you've got the lit up or the lit Lincoln sign, but really it's a personal choice. Which one do you prefer the look of? When it comes to performance, you're talking with the V8 engine in this unit, which is 6.2 litre, you're looking at about 420 horsepower. This has got a V6, a 3.5 litre twin turbo V6. It delivers 440 horsepower. So horsepower wise, this has slightly got the advantage. They both have about 8,000 pounds towing capacity. In fact, maybe this is 8,000, this is 8,200, but really horsepower, towing, torque, very, very similar. From an exterior perspective, it's all about probably a personal choice. 22-inch rims, as I said before, the power deployable tailgate, they are very similar size. The Yukon is in fact just a little bit wider, but barely noticeable. These are both big American full-size SUVs, both clearly in right-hand drive. I guess for me where the difference is, in fact, let's wander around this way so we can see it properly. Let me find the Lincoln key and the right button. There's a couple of differences that really come into play here. And this has got the seats down, the third row of seats coming down, which we'll put back up. But the big difference with the Lincoln, let's jump in the front and I'll show you. So we're inside the Lincoln, and there is no doubt that this is a spectacular luxury SUV. Honestly, when you compare technology, features from the Lincoln to the GMC Denali Ultimate, they're very similar from touchscreen technology to the driver's assist technology. Again, if you want more details, you can jump into the individual vehicle reviews. I'm just trying to give you a bit of a head-to-head of, if you're trying to make a buying decision as to which vehicle you go for. Hopefully this helps a little bit. Moonroof on both vehicles. For me, I guess the differences are maybe the Lincoln Navigator, particularly the black label, has a more refined feeling in it, so a lot more wood. It's a lot more, gentlemanly club, if that's an expression that people make sense. The seats here, and you can sort of see them here, are spectacular. I mean, they're all multifunction, heating, cooling, massaging. The seats on the Lincoln are probably marginally better off, but again, it's a personal choice. The real change, though, is probably, I guess the real difference, I think, from an interior perspective is the second row. So I'm going to jump in the back seat and let's check this out. This is probably where one of the key differences, I think, between the two vehicles are, and that is the back seat configuration. So with the Lincoln, there's 5 different options. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, you can buy them as a 7 or an 8-seat SUV. This is set up as 7, so 2, 2, 3. But there's a whole series of options here. So you can get, this is quite a spectacular center console. You've got, obviously, I'm going to put the cooling on my seat. So that's the heating. No, that's the cooling. You're going to get a nice cold bottom. But you have all of your seating control here, or all of your controls here. You've got zoned heating and cooling, so 3-zone heating and cooling, so you can, again, separately control this cabin. So we do find a lot of our customers that live in a world where they have a driver will look towards the Lincoln, because the seats here are, again, a personal choice, but marginally maybe seen as being better. But the center console really is quite lovely. Again, huge amount of space in here, power charging, both for your laptop or USB-C and B, etc. Drink holders. They are really, really quite nice. And again, plenty of leg room for the third row. But I think I've said this a few times now, it's a personal choice thing. Let's pop over to the Yukon and jump in the back seats just so you can get a complete split between what it looks like to be sitting inside a right-hand drive Lincoln converted by us towards the GMC. Now, before we go on, do me a favor if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. That would be really cool. Come on, let's go look at the Yukon. So as if by magic, I'm in the second row of the Yukon Denali Ultimate. These are beautiful. I guess the obvious thing when you're looking at it now, jumping straight from the Lincoln, is there's no center console option, but it does give you more legroom, and it also gives you more access to the third row. That might be an important thing for you. Also to note is you've got your touchscreen entertainment systems here on the Yukon Denali Ultimate as standard. You can put them onto the Lincoln, and I guess that's an important thing to point out, that with the Yukon Denali Ultimate, just about every single factory option that you can imagine comes with the vehicle. Now, the Lincoln Navigator, particularly the Black Label, does come with a lot of options, but you can absolutely keep adding on to it. One of the obvious elements, obviously without the center console, you've still got your controls, your separate zoned air conditioning, your touchscreens, as I said, USB, B, C, etc. Your power is built in. But with the Yukon Denali, you can only get one trim variant, which is the Alpine Umber, versus the Lincolns you have, depending upon whether it's a reserve or a Black Label, 3 or 4 different interior trim levels. So Yukon Denali Ultimate, the only interior is the beautiful 100% real leather, hand-stitched Alpine Umber style. It's Mount Denali laser etched into the leather. But with the Lincoln, you do have 4 interior options. So again, maybe that's a deciding factor for you for spending, an additional step up when it goes from the Yukon up into the Lincoln. Let me jump in the front seat of this thing and we'll finish this off. So front seat, 24 Yukon Denali Ultimate. They are beautiful. I love them. There is just no doubt about them. I don't know if popularity is a thing or volume is a thing, we certainly do a lot more of the GMC Yukons than we do Lincoln Navigators. But it's absolutely a personal choice. Certainly there is a budget influence. As I said before, there is a pretty significant jump from the Yukon Denali Ultimate up to the Lincoln Navigator Black Label, circa $20,000 before you pay your duties. And that can, depending upon the country, that could be 50, 100%, 170% in India. So, that $20,000 price difference can be $30,000 or $40,000, or if not more. Tech spec wise, as I said before, horsepower, performance, down to the heated steering wheels, adaptive cruise control, suspension, all of those things, really, you can't pick them apart, which is what happens. I mean, these are the large luxury American SUVs. It's a very competitive market, so you never find a vehicle that is a clear leader as such. But what we have here is absolutely the 2 best right-hand drive SUVs available on planet Earth. What it is, I guess, it's down to our customers ultimately to decide which vehicle they prefer the look of. Certainly performance, towing capacity, acceleration, there's honestly nothing in them. Genuinely, one of the things I guess to watch out, to be aware of, is the Yukon Denali comes with either the 6.2 litre V8 petrol or it comes with a 3 litre turbo diesel, versus the Navigator only has a 3.5 litre V6 turbo in petrol. Let's jump out. All right, so that's it. That is a 2024 GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate in right-hand drive by my crew here at Auto Group, or the Lincoln Navigator in right-hand drive. Again, also by our crew here. What this comes down to is personal choice. Now, we export our vehicles to 40 countries around the world. I've got a team of nearly 200 people here. My family's been converting vehicles from left-hand drive to right-hand drive for 30 years. We've done 4,000 vehicles. The other thing is we are proudly based in Sri Lanka, so we're a 100% Australian-owned company by my family. Been in Sri Lanka. In fact, it's our 21st birthday this year, which is pretty cool. And come and look at what we do, how we do it, what it is that our crew of 200 people do. But ultimately, whether it happens to be the Lincoln Navigator or the GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate, it's a personal choice. The Lincolns definitely are a bit more expensive, but if you're going to buy yourself the perfect, luxurious 7 or 8 seat American vehicle in right-hand drive, then honestly, these are two of the best to choose from. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.